Hello, my name is Lou,
And I'm Katie.
and you're listening to Files from the Other Side. This week, we're opening up the files on...
Bigfoot!
I say big, you say
Foot!
big,
Foot!
big.
Foot!
I wanted to try that bit on you if it would work, and it barely did, but
I honestly would have worked better if the internet wasn't being such a bitch.
Right? Yeah.
Like that, because, oh my god, years ago, like legit 5 years ago, my friend, around Halloween, my friend and I went to a corn maze, and he was like, when I say corn, you say maze, corn, maze, corn, maze, and like, still, like 3 years later, he was like, corn, I was like, maze!
I just wanted to start it off with a joke. How are you doing? How's it going?
I'm so good. I'm so good. How are you?
I am awesome. I actually, this week, got to do a bunch of spooky stuff, and so I'm pretty jazzed.
Oh my god.
My Halloween is pretty low-key. It's just recording this episode, but I had a fun week.
But you did a bunch of spookly shit this week, and also, this is like my exact brand of like spooky for Halloween. Like, we're gonna try to talk to Bigfoot. I'm gonna tell me about your investigations, because you did some like legit investigating and shit this week. Like, you've already done your Halloween things, and I want to hear about them.
Yes. So I went to the Spokane Public Library downtown. They have a special collections exhibit right now that has a bunch of like old books on witchcraft, including like the Christian perspective and the fortune telling perspective. So there's like both. And then
It's like blasphemy and that it's fine and that it works.
It's like witches and also witches. Yeah, and then they have a Frankenstein exhibit right now, and they have a bunch of wet specimens from Petunia and Loomis. They have a bunch of medical supplies. They have old Egyptian papyrus that is a Book of the Dead.
Oh, shit.
It was for a priest. I do not remember his name. I could barely pronounce it when I was at the library, but we investigated it. We did a quiet investigation where we just did the EMF reader. We were giving everything a read. The papyrus was weird because it wasn't giving us a read at all, but I experienced deja vu when we were around the document.
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
It was a glitch in the Matrix for sure. I was like, I literally looked at Haley and I was like, I've seen all this before. I'm having deja vu. I was like screaming it in the library. And she's like, whoa. And she's like handling the EMF reader for me because I'm like freaking out. And she's like, whatever. And I'm like, no, it's paranormal.
You don't understand. This is further proof for my investigation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we were also investigating the medical supplies, and we got quite a good reading off of that. We couldn't talk to anything.
Sorry, I just like like that. Just something just ran through my whole body when you said you were investigating the medical supplies. I was like, oh,
yeah, there were syringes, there were cuffs. Yeah, it was like very interesting, and we got kind of a reading off of it, but we couldn't talk to anything because anytime we put my Ghost Talker phone app next to the EMF reader, it went off. And so I was like, we don't have to use the Ghost Talker or try to communicate with this thing because it wasn't working. It just felt like it wasn't working. But what was really interesting is we asked the librarian, hey, do you have any like original authored documents? And they brought out some letters from the Bureau of Indian Affairs talking about how they wanted to establish a Catholic church on the Nez Perce Reservation. And so we got original handwritten government documents by the people who were trying to do that. Fascinating. We didn't really get a read off of that, but I thought it was really strange. This guy Monteith had his last name was Monteith. He had authored them, and I was trying to see if we could get any reading from the author off those. Not really. And then the last thing that she brought out were Babylonian clay tablets. No effing joke. No effing joke. Yeah. We got a reading off one of them, and guess what it was? It was a receipt for meat. It wasn't like some ritual Babylonian clay tablet. It was a receipt for some meat. Is the reading we got off of the one. We tried a bunch of them, and the one was like, hello.
That is so awesome.
It was
That
so
is
funny.
like but it like fed a family, you know, like it wasn't just like for some fucking like temple or some high priest, like it was like meat that fed a family at a fucking high holiday, which is cool. Like,
Yeah.
Meat's only for special occasions, you know, like.
Yeah, no, it was pretty funny. And then last night I got to see Pretty Effin' Spooky, Amanda Paulson. She was doing the self-guided tours at the Campbell House in Spokane, which is part of the Museum Arts and Culture. And the Campbell House is simply this old-ass house in Spokane, but it's been really well preserved. The architecture is amazing. The items in the house are well preserved. And the presentation was like spooky. It was like a dark history tour on like spiritualism. So there was a lot of stuff about spirit photography, Ouija boards, seances, funeral rites, tarot. Somebody read tarot cards there. It was pretty fun. And yeah, we just toured the house. I took a bunch of pictures. I didn't necessarily feel anything haunted, but then I walk over to Amanda and I'm talking to her, and I have a synchronicity, and she was trying to explain to me like the box of the Ouija board. She's like, oh, it's just the one in the box, you know, with the thing. And I was like, I don't know that consciously, but I had a dream like a few nights ago, or maybe it was a few weeks ago. Actually, like now that I'm thinking about it, it was like 4 weeks ago. I had this dream that I found a Ouija board at a thrift shop, and it had the cover she was talking about on it. And I was like, it may be common, but I've never bought a Ouija board. I'm not a items collector. I don't know what this stuff looks like. And I was like, not consciously, but I'm thinking of the dream I had. She was like, well, apparently you're having a synchronicity. And I was like, apparently. So that was my experience in the Campbell House. But I had a lot of fun, and it was awesome. Well, but you had a story for me. Let's pick it up.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Let's.
You had a cool story.
I had a very fun story this week. One of my coworkers, Rachel, was listening to our vampires episode this week. She was like at work, and she was doing the fucking she was like doing something like stalking the bar or something like that, and she was listening to the part where I talk about like hearing the ghost woman's voice on the recording that my friend Dave took. And then our like manager Matt like showed up and like behind her and started talking to her, and she got so spooked.
She's like, listen to a podcast. How could you do that?
How could you do that? Listen to
and right podcast. At the part where you're talking about the ghost.
Yes.
Poignant.
Yeah. No. A little synchronicity of her own. Very cool. But she like ran over and talked. Like when I came in, she was like, "Oh my God, Katie!" Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "That's so cute, Rachel. I love this so much." And then the next day, she had another story for me. It was so sweet. She was like, I came in to like put my bag down, like give her a hug, blah blah blah. Clocked in. And she was like, "Okay, so I had the craziest dream last night." I was like, "Do tell." We have our dream interpretations episode coming up soon. And she was like, "Okay, so me and Matt, same guy that spooked her, right? We're part of the spooking." She was like, me and Matt were in this library, and like I was like looking for Dracula, or I had Dracula, and then I was like looking for Carmilla, and then Matt was like looking through all the Twilight books, and I was like, we don't need them. And I was
we don't need the Twilight books. We need Carmilla.
We need Carmilla and Dracula. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they got that into your brain. And also, that's what I said to Skyler when we were talking about the vampire episode. I was like, we don't need Twilight. She was like, culturally speaking, yes, we do. And I was like, fine. And then I think we touched on it for 37 seconds in the episode. Like,
yeah, we barely touched on it. That's how we got do vampires have superpowers, because of the Twilight.
The Twilight, they have superpowers, but they also have superpowers. Also, correction and omission, my favorite vampire is actually Laszlo Cravensworth from What We Do in the Shadows.
So I started watching What We Do in the Shadows, and I can't believe you're saying Laszlo right now, because Nadia's where it's at.
Nadia is totally where it's at, but again, I just want to redirect everybody to the greatest quote, one of my actual top 3 favorite things I've ever heard on television, by Laszlo Cravensworth. I became a vampire to suck blood and fuck forever. Game, set, match. Oh my god,
Katie
as
said
much as I
much.
want to stay in my Halloween costume, guys, this is my Halloween costume. I'm Tulip Olsen from Infinity Train. You can't see my gray skirt. But yeah, that's like my favorite thing is I love wearing Halloween costumes where nobody knows that it's a Halloween costume. Even like I remember when I was like Kim Possible one year, like in college, and like had the midriff and everything, and everyone was like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Fucking Kim Possible. We're all the same age. Like you should know this." And my hair straightened and everything. I wore the gloves. Like I usually forget the gloves or don't do the midriff. I was like full on costume. And everyone was like, "Who are you?" Like, dude, I'm obviously Kim Possible.
Yeah, and like somebody could have been like, "Are you Tomb Raider?" And they would have been even closer than nothing.
Yeah, right? Right? Are you Tomb Raider? Shall we get into some Bigfoot shit? I've been so excited to talk to Bigfoot all day at work yesterday. I was like, who has questions for Bigfoot? What should I be asking him? I mean, I have my questions, but are there more that I'm not thinking of? And there were.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to ask these questions for Bigfoot. Yeah, so today on our episode, we are going to do something so special that we have never done before. And I actually got this idea from Frightfully Delightful. Hopefully didn't F that up. But they commented on one of our posts on Instagram saying like, oh, me and my podcast co-host have tried Estes Method's long distance. And I was like, actually, that's awesome. Like, why don't me and Katie try that? And I was, flippantly thinking that. But then I was realizing while we were doing the Bigfoot episode, I was like, what if it's Halloween. What if we talk to Bigfoot and did it on an episode? So we are going to attempt the craziest shit right now and do an Estes Method live on the podcast trying to reach Bigfoot. Are you excited?
Get excited. I'm fucking stoked out of my mind. I think this is way more interesting than just recounting Bigfoot stories and sightings and shit like that. Like, obviously I do still love like theorizing about Bigfoot and stuff, but this I'm like beside myself. Like when you called me on Sunday, I was like, yo, this is the idea for Bigfoot. I was like, fucking this is why you are the person I'm doing this project with. Because you are fucking brilliant and you think that way. I mean, all my friends are brilliant, but this is like, so brilliant. So good. Stroke of genius.
I know, right? So what we are doing to contact Bigfoot today, there is, if you notice behind me, there is, and this might be better viewed as a YouTube episode, just forewarning, even though we're 20 minutes in. So if you're on Spotify, jump over to YouTube if you want. But there's a spell behind me, and it includes a couple stones, including moss agate, and a pine cone that's actually from the Pacific Northwest. I picked it up off the ground up here. There's a candle that I etched into the candle Bigfoot for the intention that we want Bigfoot. And then I put a couple herbs, divination herbs, together with an offering for Bigfoot, which is a pine cone charm. Because I just so happen to have one. And I was thinking, if he wants that as the gift to sort of like get this going. I always like to leave offerings for spirits, because they are communicating with us and taking the time to do that. Because imagine if someone wanted to contact me right now from the future. That's wild. But I'd be taking time out of my day to do that. So it's like it's a give and take. I always feel with spirits. Spirits do need to be not paid, but sometimes paid, if that makes sense. Just gifted, but also paid in return, like with offerings and stuff like that, like ancestors. But so there's this little offering behind me with a candle lit, and what we're gonna do is I'm going to put the EMF reader up so Katie can kind of monitor it. It's kind of blurry in the video, but we'll see if we get a red reading. Especially look out for red readings if it like flashes red. And this is my little EMF reader. It's just a K2.
What does it mean when it flashes red?
There's more activity, so it usually stays on the green, like at a basic, and then it'll start to go this way, so it'll go from yellow to red. So if you see more of these colors than these colors, you know that there's a reading. Okay, so I'm going to put that up, and then I'm going to go under the Estes Method. I have the spirit box, and Katie is going to ask some questions. We will note, though, that we have to edit this just for time's sake. So, like, maybe the timing of the responses may be a little shorter just for the episode's sake, but we'll see how it actually ends up going with the conversation that we might have. So I just want to forewarn people that just for podcast reasons, we'll have to edit it a little bit, but we're not going to edit it so much that it's not truthful. So we have some integrity here. It just might be for easy listening that we do that.
Yeah.
So
yes. It's like, yeah, you don't want to watch me just be like waiting for answers for 15-20 minutes. However, like, yeah,
we'll see if there's an actual conversation to be had too.
Yeah.
It might not even be like that.
I mean, Bigfoot is, if he exists, he's either an animal or an interuniversal like being. Like, if he's interuniversal, he might be able to speak English. But if he's straight up into species we haven't discovered, he probably can't speak English. So
yeah, and what this spell is supposed to do is mitigate that. It's supposed to mitigate that spiritually.
Okay. Sweet.
So hopefully we can get some intelligent responses and see if Katie's questions can be answered. I've briefly glanced at these questions, but I do not remember them, and she can ask them in any order. So
yeah. Oh, I will be asking them all over the place because we'll do it in a way that makes sense. I also have like some of the questions I probably won't even ask, but I was just like, I wonder, so they're there.
So just like any Estes method, just introduce yourself. Say, hey, I'm Katie. I've already introduced myself with the spell. So Bigfoot knows I'm the one who's receiving. Yeah. So just say hi, and then we will get started.
Okay. Wait, I'm going to wait till you're under until I say it. Or should I say hi now?
You can wait till I'm under.
Okay. I feel like I'm going to wait till you're under and then say hi. And then... I'm so excited.
So I'm going to take my headphones off. I won't be able to hear you, okay? Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
And I'm going to give you a thumbs up to let you know I'm ready.
Okay, cool.
And I'm going to set my timer, okay?
Yes. Don't forget to set your timer. Yes.
Okay. All right. Earphones off.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
I love you. I'm so excited. All right. Hello there. I'm Katie. Would love to speak to Bigfoot if I possibly can. I have some questions for him him or her.
Spiritual needs.
Bigfoot, would you like to talk about your spiritual needs or tell me about them?
Where are we? I don't know.
Well, we're in a couple places. I'm in San Francisco. She's in Spokane.
Bigfoot.
So I have Bigfoot right now.
Or God.
Ooh.
What? I mean...
Wait, which one do I have? Both? Okay.
Helpful.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I appreciate you. Or am I being helpful? Or you're feeling... Okay, whatever. I'm going to ask my question.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, it's evening. Good evening. Is it morning where you are? Where are you?
I'm right here.
Are you from our universe?
Good. Oh my God.
Or are you from another
Our allegiance
universe?
is crumbling.
Mine? Why? What are you worried about? Whose allegiance is crumbling?
Some people sold the message.
Who? Who sold the message? Holy shit. Actually, one of my questions was, do we fuck your shit up?
You can hear me?
Through
Remember
Skyler?
this now. I'm out from the The wild.
From the wild
Period.
of our universe, or are you from another universe?
Simply, we're told it would be told.
What's the message?
It surprised me that
What
no
surprised?
one
Okay, it surprised you that no one.
sends Halloween.
No one sends anybody to your universe or to the wild.
Study me now.
Are you a species that exists in our universe that we haven't discovered?
I remember
What do you remember?
a big party.
A party of what?
Sometimes
Sometimes?
we hide.
How do you hide?
I eat cornbread.
Okay. Okay. The next time we do this, we'll leave an
And
offering.
hunting.
Okay. Cornbread.
Enter the pharaohs.
Did you say enter or enter? Are you trying to tell me that you're from another universe? And that's how you hide?
There's a brand new over meaning we have real fish meat sounds just incredible. Please apply my spirit. Salty.
Oh, you are speaking my language, Bigfoot. Okay. Apply fish meat, salty
Hi,
fish meat.
Jax.
Who's Jax?
We're all connected.
In what way are we all connected?
The book. Did you identify
Which book?
that? The book has helped management
Which book has helped management?
a wise book.
A wise
A girl
book?
has a wise book.
Wise book.
She has it In town.
Which town?
Yep.
Well, which town? There's two different towns that we're in right now.
And there's others of us inhibit. Don't
Okay.
skip people.
Don't skip people. Okay. Are you also
We've
the
got
Yeti?
something good.
Oh my God. What have we got that's good?
Tea.
I blend tea. Did you know that?
Appalachia. More to you.
So you like to hang out?
Rain.
Is that where you hide in
Makes
Appalachia?
us
Rain makes us.
identify with our heart if there's life.
I mean, rain provides water. Water helps create life. I can see that. I love rain too.
The result of calling yourself is how much you will adjust on. Let's go there.
To Appalachia?
It's cool that you asked.
Where else do you like to be?
The people have to help you 1 minute. They said all of you. It wasn't helpful. I'm against benefication.
Benefication. I have to look up what that means, Bigfoot. I'm so sorry. Benefication. Okay. Benefication. The process of improving the value of a primary material by transforming it into a more finished product.
I am a thought, something bigger than that which we talk here. I dream of a call down here.
Down here where? Where
On
is
the
down
clock.
here?
It's official. A man was coming and they told me to go underground like the reservation.
Which reservation?
People told everyone we need space. And we wished for a mutual residence.
Where would you like this mutual residence to be?
like 8 years, a year, to know that the gig is up.
What did this man look like that told you you needed space?
We're hopeful that we had. Eaten.
You like to eat fish?
Soft.
Eat soft?
Fish.
Are there fish in the underground where you are?
Drinks are free.
Why are drinks free?
An owl. Shape-shifted. Right in front of you.
Where?
We belong. With the one in the middle.
Who's in the middle? Fuck.
My timer went off.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad that timer went off. Goodbye, Bigfoot. I love you.
Hi, I'm back.
Oh, dude, that was weird.
It was weird.
That... Well, he talked about Appalachia and being underground, and I was like, oh, like in the Mammoth Cave system? I mean, I didn't say that out loud. I was like, where? Where underground? Who was the... Also, he talked about the man coming to fucking tell them, and I was like, what did the man look like? Was he a man in black? I didn't say man in black. I wasn't trying to lead.
We're not trying to get caught up in here by the men in black is what the situation really is.
More importantly, I mean, if the men in black are aliens, then I'm fine with being met by the men in black. However, I don't want to ask leading questions. That's bad. Investigating, interrogation.
Sure. Well, I don't know what the fuck you were asking. And I thought that was wild myself, just saying the shit I was saying, so...
It was weird. Who do I have, Bigfoot or God?
Hey, what's up, God?
Hey, what's up, God? Oh my God, that was... I think it's gonna be even weirder when you ask, because, it was actually, you could tell it was not his first language. He was, having to think about it, but, whoever we were talking to just now, I choose to believe it was Bigfoot, or God. Both. I think I said both, and that was wild, though. He's talking about caves, he likes fish. I mean, Bigfoot sounds like he likes fish. It sounds like he's from this universe. And then it's sounds like a species, because there's more. You're gonna freak the fuck out when you ask him to see the question. It was fairly intelligent, I think.
Really? I felt like I was gibberish. I was like, what the fuck is she asking? I was like, I could get the fish stuff. I was like, oh, he's hungry. Because, what's actually funny about the fish stuff is before I laid the pine cone charm out, I have 2 little fish charms. I was like, should I do the little clay fish charms? Or should I do the pumpkin, or the pine cone? And I was seriously thinking about it. I was like, well, I don't know. Bigfoot could be a vegetarian, so I decided against the fish.
But do the fish next time, because he asked for soft fish.
That's so funny.
I am floored right now.
Oh my god.
I am like, because I
So
like.
did we just talk to Bigfoot?
I'm pretty
Yes
sure
or
we
no?
just talked to Bigfoot. I am.
Well, congratulations, everybody! You just heard your first conversation with
I also
Bigfoot.
don't know how much we need to edit it. You were pretty. It was like I didn't wait that long between. Like the answers were coming fast. Like
It is Halloween.
the veil is thin.
The veil is pretty much non-existent. It is dark out. It is Halloween. The ancestors are out. Bigfoot is out. I'm sure there's people outside in Bigfoot costumes somewhere.
Yeah. That was my brain melted.
Your brain melted.
Fully melted. Because like I mean some of it was weird. Like it was again like I would say it was like somebody trying to talk to you in English when it's their second language. Like
Yeah.
the like I mean intelligent responses is maybe not the best way to put it, but like actually it was actually pretty much like, and then he started steering the conversation in a way so I started asking questions about like what he wanted to like talk about. Like I was like, okay, I'm not getting a straight yes or no answer on are you an inter-universal being. The way it sounds like he's a species that lives on the planet that was like cloistered, I guess, like off in the mountains and in fucking things, like by the government, I think is my current running theory now, because the men put them underground. Like what?
The men in black showed up and they were like, no, none of you guys anymore.
That we never got the answer of what the men looked like, but he said the men came, and I was like, what did they look like?
I'm gonna have to watch that back again because I really want the context. I'm blind right now.
You are flying blind.
My response to that.
And again, my brain is melted, so maybe I'm not the best person to tell you what the fuck just happened. But what I think just happened is we talked to Bigfoot. He said he likes fish. He said he was cloistered by the men. They wanted to live in harmony. But they got put underground in the Appalachian Mountains.
Or maybe in the Pacific Northwest where there's tons of mountains here, but
yeah.
Could be all of America.
I could be.
Like no
I think
people.
It's probably all of, because he said there's a multiple of us, and I was like, wait, are you the Yeti too? Like, or the Yeti is like the Yeti, another kind of species. So I think that they're like a species. Yeah, and Appalachia, like I think that's a big like caves. Like again, literally just rewatched Hellier.
Same, yeah.
Like
I rewatched Hellier specifically to do this episode actually because I was like. I was like, how is this gonna go in terms of the experiment itself? And so I was watching Hellier, and I just love the way they talk about the phenomenon, and it does provide a lot of context. Everything is interconnected.
Yeah. The Wise Book, like what the fuck was that about? I was like, he was like,
that was weird.
Where though? Because we're in a couple. He was like in the town, and I was like, okay, but we're in a couple different towns right now. Like, which one?
Well, I would call Spokane a town
more than San Francisco. Yeah, I would think so too.
I wonder.
I almost said that. I was like, because actually, one of us is not in a town. One of us is in a fucking city. So,
interesting. Well, theories on anything.
I am now, so I was originally thinking that he was an inter-universal. So that's my term for like what most people call interdimensional, because dimensions are actual measurable, like dimensions are height, width, length, girth, time,
volume,
volume, gravity, like mass, whatever. Like these are dimensions are measurable ways that the ways that we actually measure the universe that we're in right now. So I'm saying inter-universal when it's like from another universe. Those are my two running, those are like my main theories, that he's an inter-universal being that can come in and out when the veil's thin, in places where the veil is thin. That's why you can disappear and stuff like that. After that conversation, it sounds like Bigfoot is actually a species that the government has fucking discovered. They're not telling us about, that they just hid somewhere. That's why we talk about the reservations and shit like that. And again, we didn't know what the men looked like that hid them, but current running theory, the men in black.
Wow. Well, then it actually perfectly leads into the philosophical question about scientific discovery and publicity of said discoveries, and how the public deserves to know what the fuck is up with the fucking world we live in.
Yeah, like, why is the government hiding UFOs and shit from us? And
because they're trying to capitalize on the weaponry, and they can't, and they're mad because the aliens won't let them have this technology to use against each other.
Also, they can't recreate it because we don't have the same elements, like, and shit like that. Like, we don't have the same, like, because physics are different, like, in different parts of the universe. Like, physics changes because of gravity, like how gravity works and shit like that. Like,
yeah.
it's
But imagine trying to, like, I imagine that this powers that be would want to weaponize it, or call it national defense, to defend ourselves against finding out these things.
Yeah.
Bigfoot itself is different than aliens because we conceptualize them differently, but Bigfoot is real.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that because my ancestors, these jabronis that I honor on my altar over here, he would love that shit. He would have been like, oh my God, my daughter is talking to Bigfoot right now. Sick as fuck.
Sick as fuck. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh God. I love also I love that the government only wants to give a fuck about how they weaponize it, because in my personal favorite government conspiracy, Project Stargate. If you want to look it up on the CIA's website, Gondola and Wish are also good. Were also code names for it during when it was a thing. And you could go on the CIA.gov and look it up. But Project Stargate was the government's psychic program. And the conclusion that they came to with the Stanford Research Institute was that psychic powers are in fact real, but they cannot be weaponized effectively.
You know, I just want to lay a little crumb for anybody to think about when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Wait, no.
And I don't want it to seem dangerous or like alarmist or whatever.
No.
Not to say that it will be. I've always wondered if psychic powers can be used strictly for communication, and how we use that communication is up to us. Like,
yeah.
I've always wondered if, so like the government is like, okay, we're investigating psychic powers, but they cannot be weaponized. That means they were trying to weaponize them.
Yeah.
Or they were considering it. But what if that wasn't even the consideration? The consideration was this communication or this psychic talent can be used for something way more groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Rather than weaponry.
I will say, in defense of the government in this, the Defense Intelligence Agency was part of the reason. Part of, like, they took over after the CIA was like, I'm done with this. So, like, in all fairness, the Defense Intelligence Agency would only be concerned about weaponizing it. But the people at the Stanford Research Institute were like, we need to keep researching this. Like, what the actual fuck? Like,
yeah. That's why I love being a paranormal investigator, is because it is the research. It's like, what we just did right here may not be groundbreaking for large institutions, but hello, for us in our audience, it's not only entertaining, but also there's something to it. Obviously. I could not hear Katie. I didn't know what she was saying to me at all. No. And yet, apparently, it was halfway intelligent with a language barrier. So
it sounded like an... Yeah, it sounded like somebody whose second language is English trying to answer my questions. And, like, having to think about it, be like, what are the words? How do I explain this? Like, and I did try to pause a lot. Like, I did try to give the space I tried not to ask overlapping questions. I definitely did it a couple points because I was like, oh, I guess I'm not getting an answer on this one. But.
How was the EMF in the candle? Did you see it at all?
Candle was burning bright the whole time, I think. EMF, I couldn't really get, like, it just looked like it was kind of blurry, so it was like, it looked green the whole time. I didn't see a ton of...
I'll watch it back and see.
Yeah.
And our audience can see what happens. I know I was, like, in front of it, too, so...
Because I also, like... I think also after a point, like, I was off book. I was not reading the questions that I fucking
LOL. Off book. She went
off
off the
book.
script.
I went off the fucking script, y'all. Unscripted.
Well, how was that for our Bigfoot episode?
Fuck, I love that. Maybe the most of everything we've ever done. And that includes our entire, 11 years of friendship.
I don't know, Katie, because you were the only one I've ever tried drugs with.
Fair.
Cigarettes. The ganja.
The ganja. I think.
Other things
Other
we
things.
don't need to mention on the podcast.
I was literally about to be like, right, YouTube standards. Okay, the 2 times. The 2 times. No, we've done a lot of really fun shit. And I did love watching Big Mouth with you in your bed at that Worcester apartment with Ned.
Or Californication.
Oh my god, all 7 seasons of Californication across 2 different coasts. No, but that was exciting. That was very exciting for...
Oh god.
I
can't wait to watch it back. I'm like, we should end this now.
I'm fully expecting you to text me back within the hour and be like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, for real.
Well,
let's wrap it up then.
Yeah.
Why not?
That was fucking
I hope you guys
beautiful.
liked it.
I hope that I just didn't get too caught up in it. I hope that you guys are like, this was crazy. Just like I am like, that was crazy.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Files from the Other Side. You can find us on Instagram at Files from the Other Side. Make sure to share this podcast if you like it and subscribe to the Spotify. And
we'll see you on the other side.
Bing, bang, boom, baby.
Bang done. Bigfoot. Solved.